Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's your boy GrandmastaJ. Season 4, Guilty Gear Strive, made a lot of changes to a bunch of the cast, one of which is a character that we are going to be talking to today. Yes, that is right, you have seen the title of today's video. We will be going over the newest demon in town, Potemkin. At the beginning of Season 4, they actually removed Potemkin's car cancels and gave him a slew of reworks, aka, some buffs here and there, in order to further streamline his game plan. Basically, to reduce the skill ceiling for what is an otherwise, supposed to be a simple character. Now, while yes, you can deem this as a character assassination because his car cancels are what kind of makes the character the character, you can kind of see it from Arxis' point of view. They don't really want this character to be super deep, and so they decided to go for what they thought was going to be a completely fine and fair rework. However, one teensy with a little bit of a problem. Arxis has completely missed the mark on what, I don't understand. I don't know what the frick their sliders were at, but this character is absolutely ridiculous. Not only were the buffs that they gave him absolutely ridiculous, but in Season 4.5, or I guess 4.2, 4.3, whatever the frick you want to call it, they decided to give him back his car cancels without actually nerfing a bunch of these moves that they made reworks to, further making the character absolutely ridiculous. So in today's video, we are going to go over what exactly did they change, why is it really bad, and what it means for the overall health of Guilty Gear Season 4. But before any of that, if you enjoy content like this, please consider subscribing to the channel. I'm really trying to put a lot of effort into it to hopefully make it my full-time job in the future, blah, 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 blah. You've heard all this before. I have a full-time job. You think I can afford? Let's not get into that. Anyways, if you like the video, please consider dropping a like and subscribing. Let's get into it. While they made a lot of changes to this character, I'm not going to go over every single one of them in great detail. What I am going to go over are the major ones that was introduced in Season 4, and later the ones that were kind of reverted or changed in Season 4.25, whatever the frick you want to call Season, why the frick is Potemkin so gosh darn strong? Okay, let's get into it. So first things first is that they actually buffed Potemkin's health. And now while this is not that big of a deal because they did buff a bunch of characters' health, I think they buffed basically most of the cast's characters' health, this does disproportionately benefit characters like Potemkin. For a character like Potemkin, it already took forever and a half to kill him. And so now you have characters like Milia or other characters, other lower quote-unquote damage characters that had a hard time really chunking down his health to begin with. They're now going to have even harder of a time, especially those who did not get supplementing damage buffs to go along with the overall health ceiling. In a game where number of interactions is kind of the whole thing, right, where I need to interact with my opponent X amount of times to kill him, characters like Potemkin present an issue where Milia has to interact with him 4 or 5 more times. Obviously, I'm being a bit facetious here, but she has to interact with him far more than he does with her. I mean, look at that. That did what, a third of his health, right? And this combo right here did about the same thing with far less effort. And God forbid you do an actual combo and not nothing like me. Basically, characters are just gonna die way faster before you can even kill him. It honestly just feels like you're punching a boulder that just has to roll over once and then you die. It's what the frick? While we're on the topic of damage, Potemkin Buster got a slew of changes. One of which was the fact that it now does, base 200 damage. It doesn't do that now. They nerfed it. They nerfed it from base 200 to 175. But in the start of Season 4, it did base 200 damage. People only have 420 health. So it does have health to most characters in the game. For context, Gold Lewis's raw, max-powered Behemoth Typhoon does 170 damage to Kai. His nerfed Potemkin Buster did 166 damage to Kai. His Potemkin Buster is getting hit with a raw super, and that might potentially wall break depending on the character. That is absolutely ridiculous. That alone wouldn't even be the biggest issue. The biggest issue is the fact that they also made this move. Hold on, I'm trying to show y'all. I'm trying to allow y'all to peep game. I'm trying to allow y'all to really understand. They made this move armored. It has now 1 hit of armor. So even if you were to like sort of guess that he's going to command grab you, in certain situations, you still eat, like he will just eat your button and you're going to freaking die. And you might be wondering, wow, Josh, you talking about Potemkin Buster this early? That must be the biggest issue, right? No, the frick it's not. We are literally just getting started. That is the tip of the iceberg. And you're gonna watch this freaking house of cards, I guess, build up. It's not even house of cards, it's a house of boulders at this. We're gonna get to that. Let's move on to the next topic. Another huge, massive change is the fact that they made this move, Garuda Impact, which is already a really, really ridiculous move that enabled Potemkin Buster. By the way, Potemkin Buster has a farther range, by the way, just in case you didn't know that. They made Garuda Impact a projectile property. And now what the frick does it mean to be projectile property as opposed to a strike property? Now, one of the things that made Garuda Impact scary initially was the fact that you were able to car cancel it. I'm not sure if it was relatively easily, but all the best Potemkin players knew how to car cancel this move very well, right? Which meant that, and I can't do a car cancel to save my gosh darn life, okay? And I'm pretty sure they made that move harder, but essentially, basically, you would be able to force yourself forward while using Garuda Impact and keep yourself in range to be able to Pot Buster or be able to threaten with Pot Buster. Now, the counterplay to that was the fact that you were at least able to hold FD, or if you don't know, that's faultless defense, and be able to push them out with subsequent uses of Garuda Impact. So they kind of had to make a decision, and depending on the range that they were at, they were never really able to safely enforce their pressure. It was always just kind of a mind game. But now that the move is actually projectile property, you cannot actually FD this move away from you because projectiles are not affected by the pushback of faultless defense. But one of the ways that you actually were able to deal with this move better is if you see him react, or if you react to the actual Garuda Impact, you're able to insta-block faultless defense, or at least try to insta-block faultless defense and get a massive amount of distance pushed between you and the Potemkin player. And that way, he can only really threaten with another Garuda Impact or with actually pressing a button. You were not really at risk of getting hit by the Potemkin or by the Pot Buster. But now that that option is no longer on the table, in fact, check this out. I'm gonna have him do IBFD because why the frick not? It's no longer on the table. You are still always in range. In Guard Crush range, by the way, Guard Crush does not have throw protections like actual block stun does, and even if it did, it wouldn't matter because this move is now armored and goes further anyway, right? All of these things are kind of compounded by the fact that you cannot really escape the threat of him actually throwing you if he actually gets in range. And so if Potemkin makes you block this move, it now forces you as the defender to take a riskier defensive option, aka holding up to basically jump, or trying to use what is it called, freaking deflect shield on reaction, or trying to actually hit him with a reversal. All of these things are far more committal than actually an intelligent defensive, I guess, interaction of having to use or trying to trying to be more skilled and using IBFD to create that distance. There is now no escape. If he just does this move over and over and over and over again, you're not escaping. You are now forced to make a committal option and try to get the frick out of here. You can't even do a fuzzy mash or anything like that. I mean, you couldn't really do fuzzy mash anyway, but now that's just not on the table. You just have to commit to a risky option. I'm going to have Kai jump after this. Now watch what happens if I catch this man's jump, right? And now mind you, I'm not even a good Potemkin player, and I did half of his health anyway. Are you guys starting to understand? There are two other moves that I want to talk about that are not the most egregious one that's saved for the end, but these also go on the honorable mention of G. Willikers Batman. I really hate this move. What the frick? I'd rather get gassed with Joker's laugh toxin and laugh to death than deal with these freaking moves. Let me show you. The first one is Slide Head. Now, Slide Head has always kind of been an annoying, pain in an annoying thorn in my side, especially as a Nago player, right? This move was always really, really obnoxious. However, they decided to dial it up just a bit of an extra notch. If you haven't noticed, Kai actually now takes damage from Slide Head. Slide Head now does damage. Why? I do not know why. Another thing too, slide head guard crushes. I believe it guard crushed prior, but now it guard crushes and creates a little bit of chip damage, which the chip damage part is new. The guard crush, not so new, but essentially you don't want to block this move ever. You don't want to deal with this move ever. And not only that, it is in fact still a low, so you still need to watch your toes. It is in fact still armored, so you still can't really contest with a fireball or a button. And now, God forbid you are low on health, you can die from this move. Fantastic. You still with me, camera guy? There's more. The second honorable mention of why are we still here, why am I even fighting, is going to be this move, the, what is it, FDB. Now, if you don't know, this move is otherwise known as Flick. And what Flick does is that, say Kyle over here throws a projectile, I can now flick it away, right? I can now flick this move away and basically allow myself to get in much safer behind this projectile. By the way, we're going to talk about that move in a second. And it's very good. It's very good as an anti-fireball tool. Now, the thing is, while yes, it is supposed to be, or it is essentially known as an anti-fireball move, they decided, what if instead of it just being an anti-fireball move, we make it a neutral tool that you can't whiff punish, that has a massive, giant, enormous hitbox that literally has very little counterplay to it. That'd be freaking fire. That'd be a fire idea now, wouldn't it? Please do me a favor and take a long, hard look at this move. Just look at it. Just look. If you would notice, this is the part where you're able to hit him. This blue box right here. This red is all the parts that he's able to hit you. If you thought that was bad, it is also only has 12 frames recovery. What? And it's also only -4 on block. It also is 6 active frames, which is a little obnoxious. And the startup is only 19 frames. So what does any of that mean in practice? What that means is that I, as a smart, intelligent individual, would be like, well, let me jump over this move, right? Oh, I reacted to it? Oh, well, first and foremost, buttery boy, the hitbox is so freaking massive that if you want to commit to like jumping over it, you gotta really jump over it, buddy. Okay, and second of all, yes, even if you jump over it, say you do that, oh my gosh, I was in so deep, and he still has enough time to recover and match 6 speed, so you can't even jump over it. Ain't that amazing? Well, okay, I'm just gonna whiff punish it. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on a second. Yeah, I'm just gonna whiff punish this move. Oh, whoops, my bad. Hold on, I messed that up. Oh, whoop, hold on, I messed that up. Oh, whoop, he recovered. Hold on a second. Oh yeah, wait a minute. I'm trying, Batman. Hold on, Batman. I got it. Wow. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that a fantastic freaking move that I can interact with it, actually punish, bro? I'm playing Kai. Kai is known for a strong poke game. Look at Grace. Grace is doing just fine. She's grooming herself. Kai is known for strong. I can't interact with it. I truly just cannot interact with it. Arxis has somehow invented the most uninteractable move that I've ever had the entire displeasure. Oh wow, how lucky am I there, right? Oh snap! I can do it. I too can do it. Dude, Arxis has actually somehow invented one of the most uninteractive, one of the most unfun, insane moves that I've ever had the displeasure of interacting with, that I've ever had the displeasure of fighting against ever in my entire life. And that's not even the worst part. Ladies and gentlemen, I introduce to you probably the most egregious, the thing that really ties it all together, right? Because if he just had an annoying Pot Buster, that'd be one thing. If he just had an annoying Pot Buster and Garuda Impact, that'd be another thing. But the perfect bow to tie everything all together is this move right here. So we're all familiar with Hammerfall, right? We know about Hammerfall. We know about Hammerfall break. But what you may or may not know is that they reduced the recovery of Hammerfall break. Why does that matter? So for those of you guys uninformed, right, Hammerfall itself as a move does eat a hit of armor, right? Now, what exactly does this mean? Oh, well, would you look at that? It also means that because it eats a hit of armor and they reduce the recovery of Hammerfall break, aka when you stop, you now run the risk of getting not really whiff punished, you get hit stun punished, freaking block hit punished. I don't know what the frick, it's a new term. You run the risk of getting armored by a flying giant man. He's got his 2 fists and he's coming at you. Oh, he's gonna grab you. Oh, it's just gonna be so gosh darn juicy. You run the risk of trying to play footsies against him, Maybe you're pressing 6P in order to anticipate a move. Maybe you're pressing / to anticipate an approach. He armors through it and he command grabs you for half your health. So you have to deal with an armored dashing move and an armored command grab. It somehow gets worse. What do you as a human being do when Potemkin is here, sitting full screen, holding down back? You know he's about to do Hammerfall. What do you do in this situation? Give you a few seconds. You guessed wrong. I just know you did. Answer number 1, I'm just gonna sit and block, right? It's an armored move. Oops. That's no good. Answer number 2, well, I know he's gonna contest me, so I'm just gonna, not right either. Well, answer number 3, I'm just not gonna interact. I'm gonna dip up out of, That's really no bueno, huh? I kid you not. This character forces you as a human being, you as a man, woman, child, animal, whatever you are, forces you to guess a rock, paper, scissors from full screen when he has 50 meter just because he held down back and pressed forward H. Are you kidding me? Are you joking? Are we serious right now? Now, here's the thing. I'm not stupid, okay? I know he's always really been able to do this, right? He's always been able to put you in that specific situation. However, all those things are compounded, right? It's not just the fact that his Pot Buster did 200 damage. They nerfed it down to 175. And oh my gosh, wait a minute. We didn't talk about the Kara cancels. Due to the outcry of all the Potemkin players who lost their Kara cancels, they decided to give them back. Now, they did make them harder in their defense. You know what they did not make harder, though? That took me less than a minute to learn how to do. I did it today. I did it just now. It took me less than a minute to learn how to do that. Kara Potemkin Buster. Not only is it back, but it has farther range. I think they said they readjusted the range a little bit, but it's still farther than the original Kara Potemkin Buster. And now it's armored. It's armored. I can't zoom in anymore. It's armored. It's just armored. Other moves like Kara Mega Fist are back. Oh, wow. Would you look at that? Kara Back Mega Fist are back. Things like that that have now made their miraculous and spectacular return. So he can do far more like cool optimals and stuff like that. He is Kara. Garuda Impact is back. Yes, they made it harder, but can you imagine? You already can't get rid of him, and now he's gonna Kara Garuda Impact you? Bro, it already does no freaking pushback. Why are you flexing on me? Why? I already could not get you away from me. Now you're gonna Kara me, bro. What's wrong with you? What's actually wrong? You're demonic for that. You're demonic for that. Potemkin is truly a character that just feels like all his changes have just compounded it to a point where now he has somehow, through the blink of an eye, he has just become the 3rd best character in the game. Debatably top 2. Debatably top 1. The characters in front of Potemkin are Hammerfall and Gold Lewis, the 2 of the most broken characters that we've ever seen, and he is creeping up. He's creeping up as a 3rd, and then there's a big gap after him. Well, when did we get here? When did we get to this exact spot? What the frick happened? So what does this mean for the overall health of the game? Well, here's my personal opinion. I believe that strong grapplers are always toxic. Grapplers that are like, you would consider like A+ and above, are always toxic. A good example of this would be like Ladiva in the original Grand Blue Fantasy Versus. That character was absolutely ridiculous to deal with, and she wasn't even the best character in the game. She wasn't even top 5, and she was the most, like, one of the most dominant characters in the game. Strong grapplers make new players that are new to the game, not really know what the frick is going on, and they just die. And they also make super pro players not really know what the frick is going on. Well, they do know what is going on. They know that they're in a blender, and then they can't avoid it, and they also just die. In these two scenarios, the only difference between the noob and the pro player is the pro player knows that they're screwed. That's it. That's the only difference. When a grappler's in your face, don't get me wrong, when they're in your face, they're supposed to force you to react. They're not even react. They're supposed to force you to make an action, to commit to an action. That is their strength, is that I am a big, slow, clunky mess of a character, but when I get into my win condition, I am very, very strong. It's the big, slow, clunky archetype. However, if the grappler themselves don't have an issue with getting in on you, then we have an issue. You dig? Potemkin does not have a hard time getting in on him. Okay, in fact, it's quite the opposite. You have a hard time getting in on him. You have a hard time getting in on him. You have a hard time getting him away from you. You don't really know how the frick to deal with this character. He has anti-zoning tools. He has anti-approach tools. He has tools that are not even supposed to be anti-approach tools. He has an armored dash that if he has meter, forces you into a freaking rock paper scissors game from full freaking screen. It's truly a lot. Potemkin is a character that has too much health, too many options, too much armor, just too much gosh darn damage. I am fine with 2 of these things, but all 4, I'm fine with 3 of these things, but all 4, it's just too much, man. It's too much for me to have to think about. He's currently a character that is soon, I'm pretty sure very soon, to dominate online play, or not even online play, every levels of play. I'm pretty sure that Potemkin is truly going to be a force of nature, and I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong, and I hope that, who knows, maybe Milius is one of the best characters in the game. Probably not. No, not really. But no, Potemkin, he's really going to be a problem in the near future. Every single character has a level of counterplay to them. I'm not saying that Potemkin is an unbreakable wall, okay? But honestly, in certain matchups, he does kind of feel that way. The problem is that he feels like an unbreakable wall. It feels like I, as a player, no matter who I play, I have to guess far more times. I have to guess correctly far more than he does. It feels like he can just win upon 2 interactions. That's always been the case, but now all of the surrounding tools to put him in those situations where he just needs to win those 2 interactions has gone way up, and that's the problem. In conclusion, I just don't think he's overall good for the health of the game, and I really think he needs to get put into the gutter ASAP. Freaking ASAP Rocky, okay? Anyways, guys, that's gonna do it for your boy. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. And for all you pot players, I know you guys are cheering, you're thriving, you're happy, you're having fun. Enjoy it. Enjoy it while it lasts, because I know that soon and very soon, you guys are gonna be put in the gosh darn dirt where you belong. That's gonna do it for your boy. Hope you enjoyed, and as always, I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.